iterations. Okay, in other words, we will call it as loops. So iterations, the name itself says, so if you want to execute the same block multiple times, then we use loops or iterations. Okay, so iteration is nothing but in order to execute same block multiple times, we use loops or iterations. Okay, so what are the loops used in Oracle? So first I will list out all the loops. First one is a simple loop. And a while loop. The next one, for loop. So, so what are the loops we see in Oracle? Simple loop, while loop, for loop. So now we will see one by one with example. You will understand. The first one is simple loop. Loop. So what is the syntax? I will show you. So similarly, now I am declaring a simple block. So declaring a variable n number. Okay, I am initializing it with 1 directly. Now my requirement is I want to print 1 to 20 numbers. Okay, my requirement is I want to print 1 to 20 numbers. So first of all, I assigned the starting value. Now I am writing the logic C. So generally, in order to print n, what we write? So dbms output dot put underscore line, you will be giving the variable what you want to print, and you will end the logic. But in this, if you run this, what happens? Only one time the value it will give. So here, what is your output? Only one. But what is my requirement? I need to get 1 to 20 numbers. So here I need to write a logic. So this is possible with loops. So how? So now I am going to replace the same block by using loops. So here in the same logic, so I begin the print statement with loop. So the syntax of loop. So I'm saying loop and end loop. So we are going to keep the same print statement in loop. So how the loop looks? You will be writing with keyword loop and you will end the loop. But here we need to give the exit loop also. Why? Because otherwise it is a infinite loop. If you don't write any condition, it will print, go on printing infinite times. But I need to give the condition to exit also. So what is my requirement actually? I need to print till 20 only. So simply what I am writing is exit condition. So in loops, we use this keyword for giving the condition. So I want to exit when n greater than 20. That means so that means you are saying to the loop, if it reach 20, please exit from the loop. But how this increment happens? See, every time n will be 1 only, but there is no increment in the in the loop. So before writing the exit, we need to also mention the increment of the value. Why? Because I need to increment the same value one by one. So I need 1 to 20. So how to write the increment? So here I am using the same variable and I am writing my increment value. Simply I am saying now after printing 1, please increment 1 value, and I am assigning the same value to the n again. So what happens in the second step? After printing 1, your n will become 2 now. Now it again go to the start of the loop. It will check when n greater than 20. So 2 is not greater than 20. So it will again print 2. Now again it will increment to 3. So this process goes on and when it comes to 21, then acha, 21 is greater than 20. So then the loop gets exit. Clear? So now I will run it, then you will understand. See, so
Sir, yeah.
we
Sir, but
printed, yeah,
sir,
let
but
me,
in n equal to n plus 1 you have given, right? The value.
yes, yes, yes.
Sir, here uh, we have to give this value before print statement, right?
Uh, Actually, I assigned with 1 only, no?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
at first time I need to run 1. If I
Okay.
give it before, what happens? It will become 2.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
At first time I am printing as it is the same value. If I give 0, then I can write this above. Okay. But here I started my number with 1. So I want to print 1 first and then increment my value. So I write the logic. If you want to write this statement above, then give 0 here. It will also work.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Got it.
Got it? No?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
But writing increment after the print only is correct. Why? Because see, always n is checking after increment. Is it?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So, but if you write this increment before, your n will print first and then comes after checking. But
Okay.
before printing only, I need to check. So that's why I need to write even before exit also you can write. Okay. This
Okay, sir.
increment. Okay. Not between exit and print. You can write before. Confused or clear?
No, no. Yeah. Clear, sir.
Okay. That means, see, again, I will write the same query by keeping the n plus 1 here. Okay. I will keep here. So now I initialize with 0. This is correct. This also you can write.
Okay.
So now this also gives you the correct output. So first it is 0, but it is incremented and then printed.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Clear? So that's why you should be very clear cut in the logic. So based on the given thing only, you will get the output. Okay. So that's why after building any program, we need to test it multiple times so that we can find out any bugs in that program. We can fix it by changing the positions. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
this is
Yeah.
about a simple loop. Now you are clear about loop.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Now comes to the while loop. So while loop is also an iteration which we use in Oracle. So before writing the logic, Before writing the logic, so what is the syntax of while loop is, in while, first we will check the condition. Then only we will allow into the loop. So that is the speciality of while loop. So what is while loop? In while loop, we are going to first check the condition and then pass the transaction to the loop. So this is the syntax of while loop. So we will see by creating a block with while loop. Now declare. So here also say you the same simple example, n number. Okay. So I will initialize it with 1. Okay. Now begin. So now instead of writing normal loop, I am writing while loop. So now I said no, in while we will first check the condition. So now I want to print here. My thing is I want to print. My requirement is I want to print 1 to 5 numbers. So here what condition I need to write? N. So while n less than or equal to 5. See here we are writing reversely the condition. Why? Because only if the condition satisfies only it will enter into the loop. Earlier in the loop we wrote the condition to exit. But here in while first we are checking the condition, then only we are going into the loop. Okay. So if n is less than or equal to 5, then what is my requirement? I need to print the value. So dbms output dot put underscore line. So I want to print the n value. End loop. But so this will also become the infinite loop if you don't increment. Why? Because all the time n will be 1 only. So it go on running. So you need to add increment here again. N equal to n plus 1. So then what happens? At first it will print 1, then increment by 2. The value 2 is assigned to n. Again go and check. So 2 is less than 5. Yes, go into the loop. Goes on and at last it will come to 6. So 6 is less than or equal to 5. No. Here if I write equal, the condition satisfies only. But here if I write 6, 6 is not less than 5. So the condition not satisfied. So then the loop gets ended and the logic gives you the output from 1 to 5. Now see the output. What the values you got? 1, 2, 3,
5.
and 4 and 5.
Yes.
Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear. Yeah.
So in while loop, what we are doing? First we are checking the condition, then only we are allowing to print the value. Okay. So the benefit of while is you can check the condition. If condition satisfy only, you can enter the loop to print or to do the action. Okay. So this is about while. Now coming to the for loop. For loop. So for loop is it is an it is also an iteration. So for loop is the advanced one. Okay. So it is so for loop is and it is an advanced loop. So by using for loop, we can minimize minimize our coding. We can minimize our coding. That means for loop is will decrease your coding steps. Okay. So what is for loop? For loop is an advanced loop, and we can minimize our coding steps by using for loop. Okay. So I will show you an example how this for loop works. So generally, if you want to declare any variable, what we do, we will declare and we will mention the variable n number. Is it? So simply one. I'm giving. Okay, then comes the begin logic. You will be writing your logic. That means you will be writing your loop logic and you will end. So these steps you are seeing in normal loop as well as in while loop. But now by using for loop, see, I only write the execution session, only begin and end. See now the same requirement. What is my requirement is I need to print values from 1 to 10. 1 to 10. Okay, same requirement. But here I am not declaring anything. For so what is the syntax of for loop? So for I, you can write any variable. I in 1 dot dot 1. So you use 2 dots 10. So this is the syntax of for loop. Loop and loop. And you need to write your print statement, what you want to print. So dbms output dot put underscore line. So which value you want to print? So I want to print this I value. Okay. So now see the same. Now I will execute. See, by using for loop, you achieved the same requirement 1 to 10. Is it? Okay. Now I will discuss about this syntax, what it is. So here in for loop, we are giving a variable and I am saying that this loop has to execute from 1 to 10. That means 10 times it is going to execute. So every time the value of I will change. So first I will be 1, then I will be 2, then I will be 3. It will loop till it gets 10. So the same value I am printing in for loop. So that's why every time my I value changes and it is going to print. So see in for loop, we did not write any condition also. Any exit statement also we have not written. Simply what we have written, what is the syntax of for loop? For variable in how many times you want the loop. I want 1 to 10. That means 10 times I need to run the loop. So here we specify that loop number by using these 2 dots. That means I want 1 to 10. Loop your state. Clear? So same thing. So I want to run the loop 100 times. Simply in place of 50, you run it now. Now it is going to print 1 to 100 number. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Clear? So that means by using for loop, you have minimized your coding. Yes. So,
Yes, sir.
so this is the syntax of for loop. And we can also reverse the flow in for loop also. You can also reverse the flow, reverse the loop using for, for loop. That means earlier what I did, I printed values from 1 to 10 by using the for loop logic. I want to print from 10 to 1. Reversely, I want to print. So simply here we can mention I in a keyword called reverse. So now you run the same loop. See, with simple reverse keyword, I reversed the loop. Is it? So now the for loop makes your work easy compared to normal loop and while. So in for loop, we can loop from one direction to another direction. That means anyway we can loop by using for loop. Clear? So now comes the next topic, nested loops. Nested loops. So here we learned what are different types of loops. But nested loop is nothing but if you write a loop in a loop, then it is called as nested loop. If you write loop within a loop, then it is called nested loop. So I will show you that example. So here I want to uh, build a tables. That means, for example, I want to build 5 table till 20 numbers. That means I want to get like this way: 5 into 1, 5 till 5 into 20. Okay, 5 into 20, 100. That means I want to print 5 table till 20 number. This is my requirement. So this can be performed by using nested loop. How you see? So simply I am declaring a variable which I want to pass. So simply x number. I will ask on runtime any table I want. I will give that number. It will print till 20 numbers. So I am asking to give you the value x in runtime. Okay. Now I will begin my logic. So first I will say with normal loop. Then I will say the same nested loop in for loop. How our what is the difference? We'll see. So with normal loop I am writing. So now I have written my variable. That means I will give 5 here, for example. So I need to now write the logic to get the tables from 1 to 20. So now see, I am building the logic. So first I will write my printout statement. DBMS output dot put underscore line. So here I need to print the value x. But before that, I need to start the loop. Loop I am starting. Okay, loop I am starting. Okay, so loop and I want to print x. So how I want to print? I want to show exactly like this way. So what I will do is okay, x into So, okay, one more variable I will use here, n number. So initially I will take n as 1. So now I am going to use so n here and equal, and I want to print the output. So what is the output I want to print? X into n. Directly I am writing. So at first what you will give 5. At first what is the value? 1. 5 into 1. Simply to get this kind of notation, I have written this one. 5 into 1. It gives the value. Okay. Now see, my print statement is ready. But here I need to increment the value till 20. Is it? So I will write my increment operator here. So I am incrementing only n only. So n plus 1 end loop. Okay. But this loop, it is an infinite loop. I need to exit it. So I will write exit statement also. Exit when, so what I said, I want only 20 numbers. N greater than 20. Got it? Okay. So here it is not a nested loop. It is a normal loop. Why? Because we used only one loop here. Okay. Here we used only one loop. But here our requirement is to print the table of 5 only. Okay. Now I am running it. So it is asking for which table you want. So as I said, first I want fifth table. You got your output.
Sure.
Again, see, I can reuse it. I want seventh table. Okay. That means, see, the same program is working. I want to get for 123 table. Got it? So you are now you designed a program to print tables till 20. But now my another requirement is I want to print 1 to 10 tables at a time. At a time. So here now what you are doing, you are runtime passing one table number and you are getting that table only. But my requirement is I want to get 1 to 10 tables at a time. So for this purpose, we need to use nested loop because the same program I will take and I will take, and what I will do, instead of passing the value, I will take this as 1 only because I want to start from 1. Okay, now I will again open one more loop above. Loop when, okay, loop. So here in loop, what I'm going to write, I will write exit statement. Exit when x greater than 10. Okay, see this loop I am not touching. So before, see first x will go into this loop. It will check 1 greater than 10. No, it will go into the loop. Now it will do the 10 tables action. That means 20 tables it will print for x value. So what is the x value? 1. So 1 it is going to print. Is it? So 1 into 1 into 1, 1 into 2 till 1 into 20 it is going to print. Okay. So this loop is done. After that it will come out. Now I need to, because this loop will be infinite, I need to increment it. So out, so in this loop I am writing. So I am keeping this loop inside. Now in outer loop, I am incrementing my x because I want 1 to 10 numbers. Okay, so I incremented it. But here, one more thing also we need to do. What is that? See, our n value went to 20. Is it? So, but again, I need to get the n to 1. Why? Because if x goes inside, it will start from 20. But 20, it will not go into the loop and it again come out. So that's why what I will do is I will assign n with 1 again. Why? Because again, I need to start from 1 in the inside loop. Clear? Clear what I am writing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I am ending my outer loop. End loop. So, so this is what? This is the nested loop. See, I am externally, I am passing one value, looping that till 20 times. My first table is done. I am incrementing the values to the second table and making the n to 1 again, because again, if 2 enter into the loop, it has to run from 1. So I made it 1 again. Okay. Now you see what the output you will understand. Now run it. See, now you are going to get all the tables. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yeah, clear.
But I want to give some gap between every loop, so that what happens is my tables will not clump. I need to get heading for each table. So see, that's why you learn all the topics individually. But as per the requirement, you will use them. See, after the loop, that means what I will do is, before starting the loop, I will print out one statement. So dbms output dot put underscore line. And what simple print statement I'm writing. So I want to separate. So x and next one pipe symbol. So table. Okay. So now see, now for every loop first that print statement it will run. Then only it will give the table. See now the simple statement I added. Now see how your output looks. Okay, what happens? I'm rerunning it. So where I am writing, okay, exit. Okay, yeah, dbms output dot put line. Yes. So now I am running this. Now see the logic. See, for 10th table, so that means for every table I got one heading. Now it is very clear now than earlier. So like
Yes,
this
sir.
way, that means in outer loop I wrote this print statement. So that's why when starting of the inner loop, every time this print statement is giving the heading. Clear?
Ready. Yes.
See, for every table you got one heading. So one
Yes.
table, the table. So this is achieved by using what? Nested
Loop.
loop. That
Nested loop.
also nested simple loop. See, now I will write the same requirement using nested for loop. So next, the same requirement I use, I will write by using nested for loop. That means it is also a nested loop only. But I said no, for loop is an advanced loop. It will minimize our coding. Is it? Now see how I write. Simply begin. Okay. Simply begin. For I will take two variables. For I in, so for example, here I will use n and m. So for n in 1 to 10, I want 1 to 10 tables. So my requirement is what? I need to print 1 to 10, 1 to 10 tables. So now see, first one I am taking the loop. So my n variable will loop from 1 to 10. So again, inside this loop, one more for loop I will write. Here I will take m. M in 1 to 10. So now comes your inner logic. So I am ending this loop and I am ending the external loop. So this is called nested for loop. But now I need to write the logic inside the loop. Okay, now here I will write my print statement. DBMS output dot put underscore line. So simply I need to get n into m, that's all. So before that, I need to mention like this way, n into m pipe symbol in between equal I am giving. Okay, so now my inner print statement is ready. And as I want to separate each table now. In outer loop, I will write the heading of each print statement. The same thing I will copy here. So here, what I need to mention, the table header. So n, I need to give the heading, pipe symbol, and now here a table. Okay, see the same program how we wrote with normal loop, normal nested loop, now achieved with nested for loop with a minimum coding, is it?
Yes, sir.
Now I will run and show you the output, whether we are getting the same output or not. See, I am clearing the output. Now run it. See, some error is there in our loop. Something we missed it, we will check. Yeah, here pipe symbol, we missed one more. This. Yeah, now I clear the output. Now I am executing this for loop. See now,
Yes, sir. We got.
we got the same output what we achieved with normal nested loop.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes. So that is the advantage of for loop. For loop makes your work easy. So logic, if you understand, it is very easy. So what happened here? Your first loop looped for 10 times. But for every one cycle, the inner cycle again looped for 10 times. Is it?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
For again, for second cycle, again this for 10 times. For third cycle, again this for 10 times. Okay. Here, by using for loop, we did not use any exit conditions, and also no increments also we used. Is it?
Yes,
It
sir.
it minimized our coding. Okay. So this is about iterations which we use in Oracle.